How's it going, everybody? So, the rated situation and the community's perspective regarding it. I thought I'd wait a little in the hopes that things would settle down, but apparently that's not the case. I've watched a couple of other videos where people give their opinion on the rework, and let me just say this. If you think this video here is going to be the same and I will tell you exactly what you want to hear, then you have another thing coming. This is not what we do here. I won't parrot back what the majority says just to get views. You can go watch other channels for that. Besides, I haven't done a video with a lot of dislikes lately. So here goes nothing, but before I even get to talk about Raid, I want to address something that happens every single time a new character comes out or old ones get reworked. Within minutes you have people crying about things they can't immediately deal with, and it's not just a few people, it's actually the majority. So many people do not bother with trying to learn something new and adapt to it. I've always done it like that. If this no longer works, then I will go cry, bitch and moan. It's such a splendid reaction, and it just seems to be the common response. And it isn't a recent development, it's always been like that. The very second a character gets good, people go apeshit. For months on end, or rather for years on end, for some characters at least, you had to stare down your opponent. The defensive matter is what people complained about. No one enjoyed it when the opponent did absolutely nothing and just waited for you to attack and then counter you. And then the moment a rework comes out that lets the character actually attack, oh no, that's not what we want. All of a sudden people are allowed to press buttons, but somehow the community is having none of that. Not fucking allowed here. How can a community be so schizophrenic? We just want mind games, not unreactable things. Well, but if a mind game is fully reactable, and it's not a fucking mind game now, is it? How can people be so thick? And no, it's not two separate groups. It's the same people defending both points. It's impossible to please such an audience. And don't even get me started on the but on console folks. Fuck me, man. Having moves that are unreactable is not a bad thing for the game. And the fact that a character's offense revolves around these unreactable moves is also expected. It's not spamming the move, it's designing your mix-ups around it. That's what makes them effective. Because if you don't use it, then you no longer have an offense. And if you overuse it, then people will counter it, because that's what happens when you spam a move. Which brings us right to the elephant in the room, Stun and Tap. According to some, the most broken move to ever exist in the game. It's the move a little overloaded, considering it deals 18 damage, it stuns, it's pretty fast and chains into high damage and attacks. Sure, that argument can be made, and tweaking some aspects of it isn't an unreasonable demand. But the nonsense I read about it, Ubi's been lying to us with the indicator. For fuck's sake, lads, really? The great deception of the community, a fucking conspiracy from Ubisoft just to mess with your heads. Can't be serious, right? Call it a mistake in the patch notes, call it an experiment with the indicator, but don't be ridiculous. And also, the demand I see the most is to make it slower again. Why in God's name would you want to make it reactable again? And we're back to Raiders staring at you and dodge guard breaking your shit. I'll get to that move in a second, no worries. But yeah, in the end, the community can't complain about shit, failed reworks again, because nothing changed. But to the move again, it's not even totally unreactable. The indicator is 400 milliseconds. I've talked about this dozens of times in videos. A 400 millisecond indicator should be in the realms of reactable for most people, especially once you're accustomed to it. Yes, the animation looks janky, yes it looks different now, because it's fucking 200 milliseconds faster in most cases. That's why you need time to adapt to it. You don't get hit by every PK bleed soft thing. You don't get hit by every shaman soft thing. Know why? Because you had many months of practice against it, but somehow stun and tap is different, despite being slower. None of these arguments make sense if you haven't noticed yet. I've read dozens of posts and comments where people say they are taking a break from the game because Raider has ruined everything. This is honestly beyond me. Why do so many people refuse to adapt? Why is learning something new such a horrible thing? Is it easy? No, obviously not, because if it were easy, no one would have any issues and even the biggest crayon eater could do it. And chances are those very crayon eaters now jumped on the Raider bandwagon and they spam that one move. So be thankful to them for being so predictable and take the opportunity to learn. Stop being quitters. And let me just say this, all you have to do is block. There's no dodging, there's no parrying, none of that is required. You can literally use the most broken mechanic in the game to shut down Raider. You simply block. And stunning tap is also not unpunishable like Black Prior's bash was last season, well, for pretty much all the cast. Against Raider, there's this one button that you can press that majorly messes him up. It's a fucking light. If you parry it, you get up to 50 damage depending on what character you play. It's far from being unpunishable. It's actually quite risky for the Raider. That's the other big thing I don't understand. The risk reward is not really skewed in Raider's favour here. And once again, is it easy? No, it's not. It requires some practice and in some cases even reads to get it consistently. But that's how it's supposed to be if you want viable offense. And speaking of just that, viable offense, there's dodge guard break, a move that stifles offense. So yes, I can fully understand why people want it gone. On the other hand, the vast majority don't experience the move used to its full potential. I've shown it in my Raider punish video that if you can bait out the move, you can punish it. But if only used against correct moves, then no, you can't punish it, and it also limits the moveset of the guy the Raider's facing. Bash guard break mix-ups, for example, do not affect Raider. It's one of these instances where a character does not follow the usual rules of the game. Side dodge bash moves work similarly, but not many yield as much damage as a guard break does. We're looking at a similar thing as Highlander's offensive dodge here. You just can't attack him anymore, which is obviously a step in the wrong direction. The game is moving into a more offensive direction, and moves like that are counterproductive. But like I said, most people aren't affected by it as much as they think. Yet, there certainly can be made an argument against the move. I, and probably many others, expected dodge guard break to be removed with the rework, and I was surprised that we still have it. Ubisoft hasn't given a reason for it just yet, but I hope they will talk about it in the future and give their thoughts on it. If you've made it this far in the video, you probably somewhat agree with me on the topic, but let me prepare you for what you're going to see down in the comment section. Oh, Frizz, you're a Raider man, I see all those old videos, you're totally biased. Well yes, I made Raider for a long time, but I think I've proven by now that I can look at the game objectively and don't defend stuff for personal reasons. Well, the news one that I've been hearing lately is, you're totally paid by Ubisoft defending the shit. Are people really that fucking detached from reality that they think I'm getting paid for saying stuff? Why would they pay a small channel like mine, whose target audience isn't the random pleb? Marketing wise, that makes absolutely zero sense from whatever perspective you look at it. But what do I expect from people that claim that Raid is the most broken character to ever see the light of day in the game? So yeah, enough ranting for one day. I kinda lost my train of thought at the end anyways, but yeah. Thanks for watching guys. Laters everybody.